Well, here's a statement from the New South Wales government that will confuse many Australians. Quote, "All people have a right to participate fully in society without experiences of stigma or discrimination," unquote. This is from a policy document released last March and signed off by the then State Health Minister, Brad Hazzard. By all people, Hazzard was not referring to those who at the time were refusing to take the COVID vaccine. No, sir. Hazzard said at the time it was, quote, "sensible to exclude the unvaccinated from society," and at one stage even contemplated making them pay for state-funded medical care should they come down with COVID. As we now know, those people who held out against the experimental vaccine were being justifiably prudent. The vaccines neither stopped transmission nor reduced the severity of the virus. Worse, they caused serious heart conditions and death, and their ultimate long-term effects are still not known, although they did make billions of dollars in profits for the global pharmaceutical companies. So who was Health Minister Hazzard referring to when he said all people have a right to participate in society without stigma or discrimination? Well, that would be the group of people whose right to participate in society has not only been thoroughly accepted for decades, it's being positively enforced. Last week, News Corp threw its media weight behind the gay lobby when the Christian owner of a printing franchise shop politely declined to print flyers for an event that will be part of World Pride, the global gay jamboree that is taking over Sydney for the next 2 weeks. The Daily Telegraph labelled it gay hate, which of course it was not. It was simply a small business owner politely declining to print something that her Christian beliefs deemed inappropriate. It's curious that the supposed victims of these carefully targeted disagreements don't simply go across the road to a more gay-friendly franchise. Or, better still, try their luck at a printing shop owned by a follower of the religion known for its violent reaction to homosexuality. Such is the state of freedom in Western liberal democracies these days. The people who died defending those freedoms would scratch their heads at the absolute dog's breakfast we've made of their hard-fought legacy. Adults are not allowed to make informed decisions about their own health, and small business owners are vilified for adhering to religious beliefs that don't impinge on anyone's human rights. But that's not the worst of it. Over the past decade, a new freedom has acquired sanctified status: the right to be any gender you like, even if, or especially if, according to some people, you are still legally only a child. As Hazzard's policy from last year pointed out, children weren't being provided enough freedom to change their gender should they feel so inclined. The policy document said the government was not providing enough support for, quote, families of transgender and gender diverse children and young people, and that new forms of care for these confused children needed to be developed. As if there wasn't enough care for them already. In Victoria, for example, schools can provide transgender services, many of which are irreversible, to a child against the wishes or even knowledge of the parents.